The New York Times has an article that looks at the smartphone as a trend that it says could be sort of passe at this point. Trying to get it on the screen here. It looks at how AI assistants move us beyond kind of where we are with smartphones right now, potentially into new territory. Certainly a topic we've talked about here, nothing completely new, but it does feel like an acknowledgement of where things are headed, right? Apps taking a back seat, AI agents handing tasks off on a more automatic sense, to for better or for worse, kind of like what we were talking about earlier with the Google feature, scheduling, note-taking, that sort of stuff. A future focus on devices like smart glasses, like wearables, more ambient computing as a reality out in the real world, not just in our home, which is something that, you know, we've been hearing for quite a while, is that your home can be in this ambient computing, you know, mecca, and everything just kind of works for you. And I think to very mixed results there. But I had a few thoughts on this. First, this idea that we're moving into kind of a realm of a world where everything, it has the potential to be audio recorded, right? These little AI pins, our phones recording things. Mm-hmm. I find myself in conversations, and my desire in these conversations, depending on what we're talking about, is I want to ask permission to record. Can I record this conversation? Because I know I'm going to miss details if I don't have a recording captured of it, and it would be very useful for me to have this later. And but it's kind of weird to like pose that as a question to someone that I'm just having a conversation with, you know? And we're kind of moving towards a time when potentially this like ambient scooping up of recordings of conversations and stuff becomes more normalized, because as people work with these AI systems and AI on our phones and start to understand the benefits of taking a transcript of something and then mining it for, you know, all the things that I need to do, or help me analyze this or whatever, the more we think in those terms of, man, it would just be nice to have a recording of everything in my life. Right. And what does that mean for life?
Yeah, and the way they're looking at it, you've got the phone, you potentially have glasses, you potentially have a watch. And which one becomes kind of the headquarter device?
Yeah.
Which one does the thinking? Mm-hmm. Which one does the communicating? Can you use the glasses without a phone? Could the glasses and the watch be the combination, or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And then I think there's a fourth thing they don't mention, which is what people are presuming OpenAI will come out with, which is a fourth device that you just stick in your pocket that does all the computing, at least. It is your own little tiny Blackwell chip. And it drives any of those devices, including other devices, right? It could drive a laptop, a tablet, a public screen that you kind of borrow for a few minutes, whatever. And we've talked about this. I called this on the old This Week in Google. I think Stacy got tinged with having this, but I think I came up with it. The Blob, which was this idea that you had this computing device that could find many outlets. And I think that was even before we thought about AI and everything. It was just a communications thing. But when you get AI in it, you're going to want one. If you really have some super duper AI processing going on locally, you're not going to want to have to buy that 5 times. You're going to want to buy that once. Maybe it's in your phone. Maybe you're always going to have your phone, and that's presumption. But I think it's a different architecture to think about that is interesting. So the Times was kind of obvious in what it was saying.
Yes.
But yes, I think, as you said, but I think there is something in all of these things come together in new ways. And the people who don't wear glasses are left out of some things. There's issues like that about whether you have to have a certain device to do certain things. Speaking of which, did you return the hip white glasses?
No, I kept them.
You kept them? Wow.
Honestly, I ran out of time with my return window. I got COVID, and then I had my trip, and I just ran out of time.
Sorry,
and I was like, you know what?
Like,
I'm just gonna, I'll figure them out. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Will I continue to use them for what I originally got them for? Maybe here or there, but I bet if I go to a Consumer Electronics Show or whatever, I bet they
you probably use them. Yeah.
So, yeah, and if I'm not, then I'll sell them, I guess. I don't know. Right now, I haven't decided, but I still have them, and there's no returning them now. So,
yep. Okay. Thanks.
Is what it is. It's not a bad thing. They're not horrible. They just didn't do the thing exactly that I bought them for. But they'll have other uses, I'm sure. And it's interesting to finally have a pair of Meta's glasses.
You can play with them when new things come out.
Yeah, totally. But I think it's interesting to just think of a kind of a world where more of our everyday lives are like, it's one thing to think about like the Google Glass experiment of 10 years ago, where people felt really uncomfortable with someone wearing Google Glass because the minute they walked into a room, they thought they were being video recorded. And that may or may not have been the case, but in some cases it was, in some cases it wasn't. But it was a symbol of like, I'm not ready for random people to just walk in a room and surveil. Like, I just want to live my life. And now we are 10 years later, and this is not quite that, although I guess it could be if people are wearing glasses with cameras and stuff like that. But are we more comfortable as a society working and living in an environment where potentially our audio conversations are recorded? And maybe they're not recorded in a direct sense where it's like, let me play you back what you said the other day, but maybe they're recorded in an AI sense to, similar to like AI training on books. It's like the entire book isn't there, but the understanding of the book is, and this is what it says. And so that I, as a user, as a liver in life, can contextualize my life easier. I'm very forgetful about certain things in my life. It would be really nice to have a device that helps me not forget things.